Roger Wilson, welcome to Erskine Owen.
Thanks, Alan.
Seems funny to say that because you've already been here a couple of months already.
That's right, it's been an exciting 2 months too.
Great, time flies. So it's really, just want to ask you a few questions about your background so people can understand where you've come from and what you're at into Erskine Owen. So from the Waikato.
Chiefs fan, that's the answer.
Chiefs, yeah, right. And made the move to Auckland to be taking up this role. So back in the Waikato, you've had a career back there working in accounting firms. So tell us about that. You were at Pricewaterhouse and KPMG.
Yeah, so I had my own accounting practice in Morrinsville, and then in 2008 I was recruited to become a partner in PwC. Spent 6 years at PwC, and 3 of those years I became office managing partner. So I had responsibility for the whole PwC Waikato business, and that had an audit team, a tax team, an insolvency team, as well as private business team. So most of my career has been in working with private business owners. Then when I left PwC, I set my own practice up for a short period of time. I had a really clear vision that the practice would either expand really quickly through some whole lot of acquisitions, or otherwise I'd be able to turn it off quickly. And sort of 7 months later, I joined KPMG as a partner. And so a big part of my client base and the team followed me into KPMG, and the remainder of the client base I sold into another firm in Morrinsville. So then I was in KPMG for 5.5 years. I led the private business team there again, as we went through a transition and a bit of a transformation project to streamline and introduce some more technology to their accounting systems.
And so I guess what's interested me since you've been here, the first 2 weeks I said how you enjoyed it, and we'll talk about it in a minute, because I know that you left KPMG and went into a commercial role with one of your clients, but we'll talk about that in a second. But you said it felt like coming home, which it kind of scratched my head on that initially, but then it made sense because we've got close to 20 sets of accounts that have to be done every year, and 15 audits, and tax issues or tax work that has to be done across all of those syndicate and funds. And so it kind of made sense, a lot of sense, which is, so you obviously feel quite at home in this kind of work.
Yeah, I really enjoyed private business, working with private business owners. You get a chance to work with the people who invested in the business, and there's a really diverse range of experiences you have, whether it be banking, as you say, tax, financial reporting, working with business owners or investor relationships, so that you're understanding what's important to them as well. So I enjoy the breadth of that challenge and the stimulation that comes from that. And so that's what my day as a practitioner was, pretty much working with those owners every day, and then passing the work across and making sure it was delivered on time to the quality.
And then you've had a role outside of the professional services in commerce, and obviously then sort of applying a lot of what you learned running commercial transactions and commercial negotiations, which obviously helps here as well with your dealings with the banks and different landlords.
Yeah, 4.5 years with one of my clients in a CE role, and it's gone from being a chartered accounting practice through to a scrap metal recycler, now back to professional services and finance. And it's the change was really good. It put me at the coalface of day-to-day business decisions. As a chartered accountant, you tend to be reactive, whereas when you get into commerce, the decisions we're making today affect tomorrow. And so it gave me a good experience there. Also in the scrap metal business, we've got a lot of property deals that were going on, and that's about consenting, that's about working with lease agreements, and which is a lot of what we do now around negotiating lease, making sure we've met all our resource consent requirements, banking covenants. So it's a lot of similarity, and really dived into some detail on some lease agreements and a few legal actions that have gone on around some of those as well. So
in your past role,
bit of a masterclass.
Yeah, and so from the Waikato, you've been involved in the equine sort of area.
Yeah,
tell us about that.
Yeah,
ridden a few horses in your time.
Yeah, I have actually. So I wanted to be a jockey when I left school. I was never light enough for that. So I went show jumping instead. So all through my 20s, I had a team of Grand Prix show jumpers, and so from sort of September through to Easter every year, I'd be trucking up and down the North Island and the South Island with my team of show jumpers most weekends.
Right.
And so it's a bit of a passion. My daughters went into that as well.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a family trait that we're all involved in horses in one way or another.
Yeah, yeah. And how's it been transitioning up to Auckland?
My wife and I, we were ready for this. We talked about it when I started looking for roles, about whether I go to Auckland, and particularly our life stage we're at. I mean, our youngest child he's finished school now, so we have him every second week. So we were spending more and more time in Auckland with friends anyway. We've kind of got a window of time of opportunity to do something for us before grandchildren turn up, because my wife is really clear when there's grandchildren, she wants to be around them. So that's what happens. So we've got a window which I'm really enjoying, looking forward to this. Yeah.
Yeah, great.